Hey there. Happy Saturday. We are doing our monthly Q&A today. So you bring your questions. I have got your answers, hopefully. I mean, I don't claim to know everything, but I try to help you with what you're going through. So I'm going through the comments right now. All right. Have you been to Asia before? Dan, I have not been to Asia before. I've always wanted when someplace I've always wanted to go though? I've always wanted to go to Thailand. Maybe I'll go there. And now I have friends in Philippines. I might want to go there. My husband has been to Japan. All right. Next question. Um, let's see who just came here from TikTok. Looks like there's a few people that just came here from TikTok. Okay. Hey, autistic raccoon. Catherine, how do I go from acting in high school production to acting in the real world? Well, there's a lot of ways you can do it. And some of it is dependent on where you live. Like, I was pursuing acting for a little while in Minnesota before I moved to LA to be an actor. Because they do some commercials and some like independent films and stuff like that in Minneapolis. So I was driving like 90 miles each way up to Minneapolis for acting classes. And so it just kind of depends on the kind of acting you want to do. Like, for instance, I had a friend who started her acting career in like Florida. She was like Miami. There was a lot of times she was getting cast in shows and dancing. People who live in Chicago who like to do like comedy improv. There's a big like comedy improv scene there. If you're really more into plays and Broadway, you probably are going to want to be in New York. But if you want to do film and TV, then like Canada and LA are the best places to go. So it depends on what your goals are with the acting. I do have a new acting course out called Acting and Having Fun that teaches you how to become an actor. So I also have a video here on YouTube called How to Start an Acting Career. So check that out. That probably would be helpful for you. It's only like a 15-minute video. I'm going to expand that and turn that into like a mini course. All right, next question. Oh, there was someone that wrote a question in that sent me an email and wanted to know. She said, I think it was her name is Malek. She said, I want to tell you I found out a boy has a crush on me, even though we haven't met because we study online chatting. And she says, I haven't liked anyone in my whole life, so I don't know what to do. It feels kind of weird to me that this boy is even my classmate and friend. He isn't exactly from my school, but he's online too. There are many instances of people meeting online and having a good relationship, but I would also say a lot of caution because you don't know. Online people can present themselves a certain way. People can lie, they can make up things, people can get catfished. I heard about this person that got catfished because someone was using my pictures to lure this person in, and this person didn't know who I was, but this whoever this person was that catfished this guy was using a bunch of my pictures and having this correspondence. He thought he was talking to me, and this person was having them send money and all this stuff. And I heard about it from his friend because his friend saw me on Dhar Mann and knew me. And she said, my friend thinks he's dating you. And I said, well, that's not possible. I'm a married lady and I haven't been talking to anyone online. But someone was catfishing him, and he was paying them money, and he thought he was going to meet this person that he thought was me, and he flew somewhere to meet them and paid all this money, and obviously I never showed up. Whoever this person was pretending to be me never showed up. So I would say you got to really protect yourself online because you don't know who is going to be messing with you, who's just trying to like sometimes people are online just to be trolls, just to be haters, just to be mean, just to hurt your feelings. So you just never know. All right, user IS5UT is saying, what was your most favorite Darman video you've ever been in? By the way, I love your videos. Oh, thank you. Um, I made a video on here called like my top 8 favorite Dhar Mann videos or something, but I made that like 4 years ago. So that was like after the first 3.5 years. But I probably, there's so many that have come that have been so good, but I would say the one, I think it's called Boy Jumps Off a Bridge, or Boy Thinks About Jumping Off a Bridge. That's probably my favorite one. We call it More Hugs, Less Suicide. My character is a mother whose boy had done that, jumped off a bridge. So she goes to that bridge every night holding a sign that says more hugs, less suicide. And she gives strangers who are feeling bad a hug. And there was a boy that comes and is contemplating that very thing. And I hug him and I hold him and I tell him I'm there for him. And then he decides not to jump. It's a very, very important message. Oh, thank you, Rosie. She's saying your eyes are unreal. Okay, Nicholas says, let's see. Oh, that was not a question for me. That was a question for the moderator. Okay, so let me just look at your questions now. Just a bunch of them. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you for the gift. There's a lot of comments on here. Sienna says, do you still do Dhar Mann? Yes, I do. Let's see. Oh, Nick, let's see. Sierra came over from TikTok. Good morning. Next question. Let's see. We did the favorite Dhar Mann video one. Yes, I still do Dhar Mann. Someone asked that question like 16 times. Good morning, Nancy. Let's see. Do you listen to Weezer? No, I do not. I've heard of them, but I don't know if I would even know any of their songs. Nancy's asking, what steps do you have to take before you wrote your first book? Before I wrote my first one, I really felt like God was impressing on me to write it. I really felt a strong urging, and I had to fight against all the thoughts of, oh, who's going to read it? You're not good enough. You didn't do good in English class in school. I had all these thoughts of, I had to talk myself into doing it because I didn't know I would be good enough. So I feel like the first battle when writing a book is convincing yourself to do it. I feel like that's the hardest part. And then getting clear on what your message is, not just what your message is, but I think one of the best things to do when you're writing a book is figure out what the plan, the trajectory is. Where do you want to take the people from point A to point B? Where do you want to take them, and what is your thought process? So some people really benefit from writing like an outline first, and then they know what they're going to put. They write like what each chapter is going to be, what's going to be in each chapter, and a logical A to Z, the journey they're taking people on. I think that's a big part of it. So I'd say that's what you need to do first. And Mina is asking, why did you leave Dhar Mann? I didn't. I actually was shooting there 2 days ago. Let's see. Nicholas said, if you could not be an actor, coach, or writer, what would you be? A teacher, but teaching my own content. I would be teaching my own content, which I do. You guys who've gone through my You Are Worthy course, I will be teaching my own course on self-worth, self-esteem. Mr. Logic says, do you still act in your free time? I do. That's mostly what I do. C. Bacon says, have you been to Africa? No, I have not been to Africa. Is Mikey grounded? Probably. He's probably grounded. He's been good though. He helped save the Super Bowl. Did you see that? Did you see that episode where the Dhar Mann villains ruined the Super Bowl? Dan says, if you weren't an actor, what would you be? Same question. I'd probably be a teacher or a speaker. Vanessa said, when did you start acting? I started acting in my 20s. Well, unless you count the school talent shows. Then you could say teenager. Okay. Let's see. Happy birthday, Olivia Johnson. So someone's asking about plays in Broadway, but they don't actually have a question here. Okay, what is your most, okay, we answered that question. What gave you inspiration to write books and create a YouTube channel? Thank you, Raphael. For the YouTube channel, I started having like different issues in life and problems, and then I would find the solution to them, and I was like, you know what? I bet other people are going through this too. I wonder if I just share how I got through this, if this would be helpful to some other people. And then I just started sharing it. Or I would have friends that were going through something and they'd be calling me for advice. And when I helped them through it, I would sometimes make a video and say, hey, I just had a friend that was going through this and this is what I told him to do, and it really helped him. So that's that's kind of how I started that. The writing, I just felt like kind of similar thing. I felt like, man, I had all these things I had learned and I had written about, and I thought it was selfish to keep it to myself. And any of you who are thinking about writing a book or writing a song, if you keep that to yourself, you're kind of being selfish. If you have a solution to what somebody else is going through and you don't share it, you're doing them a disservice. Okay, let's see. What is your favorite song? It changes all the time. It changes all the time, but I think my favorite one this week is I'll Find You by Lecrae. Lecrae, and I think the female artist name is Tori something. So I've really been listening to their song I'll Find You this week. Okay, remember you said there was 90K people in the live. There was actually 1K. Oh, the 90K was like, I was wondering how that works. The number kept going up. I didn't really know how that worked. I saw 1K started following me off that live stream. So there was definitely more people on the live stream than that because I got that many followers from it. Let me see. Let me pull up my stats because I took a screenshot of it. Okay, you're right. I got my numbers wrong. So that was the number of likes. So it looks like I had 1K new followers from it and 38,000 people watching at one time. But there might have been 90,000 that popped in at one point and maybe only 38K viewers at once. I don't really know. I've been on YouTube for like 10 years, but I've only really started using TikTok the last, I don't know, couple months. So I don't really know how it works. But thank you for having me look into that. All right, let's see. I thanked Nicola. Derek is saying, my niece Samantha wouldn't vouch for me as a photographer to her best friend Candace Kane, who is a dancer. Why wouldn't she do it? Well, Derek, I am not your niece, so I'm not in her head, so I don't know what she's thinking. I can't imagine what she was thinking unless you don't have work in your portfolio of dancers, and she's thinking, I don't know, maybe he doesn't have, because there's a certain type of photography you need to do to capture dancing properly, and catching movement without it being blurry. Like it's definitely an art form. So if you don't have epic shots like that in your portfolio, she may not recommend you because you don't have the work that you've done to support that. Okay, Brianna says, I want to do plays and Broadway, which is perfect because I live in New York. Thank you for the advice, Catherine. Oh, good. I'm glad that was helpful. All right, next question. Marla says, for my book, how do I point God moments in the book? I always want to put an addendum at the end of the book. Okay, I'm not sure I'm understanding the addendum part. But how do you point to God in your book? There's, I think it probably depends on what the scenario is or what you're talking about. When you're like having a conversation with someone, how do you naturally talk about God or point to God? A lot of times it's helpful to have personal stories in there, which I know your book is going to have personal stories. When it's a personal story, it's easy to slide it in. I think it's maybe harder when you're writing like an information book or a self-help book. but no one, like when it's your own personal story, people can't, that's like unrefutable. I mean, I guess people could still argue with you, irrefutable. Um, but if you're saying like I was going through this thing and I just got on my knees and I prayed to God and I said, God, help me through this. I'm in so much grief. I'm in so much pain. And then I felt this like presence and I felt this warm thing. And I felt like God was telling me things were going to be okay. And he gave me this scripture and this is the verse. You're just telling your story. That's, different ways that you can point to God moments in the book. If I'm understanding your question, maybe tell me what you mean about the addendum part. I don't even know if I know what that word means. I probably need to look it up. So point to God moments, and then you can also have like for your particular book, you might want to have like at the end of each chapter, you might want to have like 2 or 3 questions, almost like a devotional, and say, ask like, what are the God moments in your life, or when did you feel like a peace or a presence, or you might want to say like when you like are teaching on something that you went through, you might want to put a section like these were helpful verses to me at this time, and you might want to name a couple of the verses like God is near to the brokenhearted, right? A bruised reed he will not break. All those things that might give them hope, or maybe you might want to start um, each chapter with a certain verse that's meaningful to you, or what the content of that chapter would be. So let me know if that's helpful. Um, Dan says, you look so young. Do you have a skincare routine? I usually try to use products that are like all natural. Um, I just, um, I'm not necessarily loyal to a brand. I try a lot of different stuff, but I try to use stuff without junk in it. I did just have like a facial like a week ago, and so I think that keeps my skin looking young. The kind of facial I had is not like a foo-foo one. It was like kind of like I used to do microdermabrasion, where they would like it was almost like they'd sandpaper your face to get off the top layer that was dull. I'm also trying a new foundation today. The new foundation is from MG Naturals. It's my first time using it, and it's the first time that it looks good on me, and I think it's because I had that facial last week. So the facial I had, it was called microneedling. And what they do, it sounds horrifying. I'm going to describe this and it sounds horrifying. They like poke you, they poke you with little needles. And the little needles, they poke deep down, and then they put some serum on that gets in deeper because they basically poke little holes in your face. But what happens is it becomes like your body gets in a healing crisis. It's like, oh no, we've got to seal up these holes. So like collagen comes and your body comes to repair all the little holes that were poked in it. You can actually buy those over the counter, those rollers with the little needles in it. I used to have one. You can roll it over your face. And then supposedly your product's supposed to get in better and go deeper. And then also, it really helps your skin drinking a lot of water. Speaking of which, I got my lemon water right here. Because a lot of people have dull and lifeless skin because they're not hydrated. And eating lots of fruit and vegetables. Okay, next question. Happy birthday, Olivia. Would you use a pile or a stack? Raina said a pile. I guess it depends on what you're talking about. All right, next question. Some of you are typing in the same question like a million times. How was Disneyland? Disneyland was fun. Well, which time? You're talking about the time Dar sent my family to Disneyland? That was like super fast trip. We weren't there that long because here's Dar is so funny. Dar is so tricky with his surprises and his gifts. So I told them I do not work on Sundays. Sunday is my family day, and I like to go to church and this and that. But they needed a pickup shot for something we already shot and it was going to come out. So a pickup shot is when you shoot a whole thing, but then you miss one element and you have to go and just pick up that shot. So one of Dar's photographers, directors, Tyler, says, "Oh, we need you to do a pickup shot on Sunday." And I said, I don't like to miss church on Sundays. So I said, I'll come after church. So I came like at 1 in the afternoon. And then I get there and we get ready to shoot. And I go, he said, hold this. And I want you to walk in. I had to wear the same outfit or something because it was a pickup shot. And I go into the theater and then Darman shoots one of those confetti cannon guns and I scream and I'm like, what is happening? And he had like I took one home. He had like 4 cutouts of me in the back. This is one of them. Does it look like me? Okay. He had these 4 cutouts and he had these videos on the screen, which were all the videos I was in. And there was balloons in the background that said happy 200th. And was it 200? Yeah, I had done, he was celebrating my 200 videos. And then I was like, okay, wow. And then I go up on the stage and he gives me a hug and he's telling me how important I've been to the channel and all of this. And I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, I wish my husband and kids were here because I would have want them to see you celebrate me like this. It was so special. And then he's like, oh, the surprise isn't done. I'm like, oh, I thought this was the surprise. You giving me balloons and telling me how special I was. And then he goes, no, we haven't. Follow me. And then I'm following him. I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. And I see this big van, this Mercedes van, I don't know. And we open the door and my husband and kids are in there. And I'm like, what? What is happening right now? I had no idea. And Dar comes in. He's like, oh, yeah, we know you've been going through some tough times because my husband had lost his job and things were very tough and things were very tight. And we were trying to live off unemployment. Like my husband, was normally making way more, like 5-6 times more than you get on unemployment. And so we were going through some tough times trying to make it work without his income. And then so Dar's like, we decided to send your whole family to Disneyland. And so I was like, what? And so the van took us there and Tyler was filming us. And yeah, we didn't get a lot of time there because it was like after 3 in the afternoon or later before we finally got there. And my son Timothy can't really walk. He can't walk long distances. He uses a walker every day at school. And so, we had to wait in line and get a wheelchair and go around the park. So we didn't get to see a lot, but what we did do was super fun. We went on maybe 4 or 5 rides. So you can see that short on the Darman probably YouTube channel is probably the easiest place to find it. But that was a very special surprise. And Tyler was like, oh yeah, Dar says you can get whatever you want in the store. So, yeah, Timmy what did Timmy get? He got like a shirt and Eli got a sweatshirt. I got a sweatshirt. Or no, I think Eli got a plushie. Anyway, that was a beautiful trip to Disneyland and quite a surprise I did not see coming. Abur says, do you miss Mikey and Jaden? Well, I did just see them in January. We shot together, and I think I saw Mikey in February. Okay, Marla says the God moments. I meant like making it apparent that it was from God, like the Jeep loan being paid off. That's huge. You definitely have to write about those miracles because that builds other people's faith, right? In the book of Revelation, it says we overcome the devil by the by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So you definitely have to put all those God moments in there. Yes, make that apparent and say it in such a way like I had no friends that could have done this. This was not like a relative paying this off. This was a total God moment. And you could even have like a section in the book where you write God moments. You can either weave it into your story, into the chapter, or you can put at the end of each chapter or something, these were the God moments. However it feels most natural to you, I think that's really important to do. The addendum would be something at the end of the book where I list all the God moments. You could do that too. You could do both. You could do both. I think you can't talk about God too much. I would write it all out the way you envision it. Like when you're writing a book, you can't worry about what other people are going to think when you're writing it. Now there's an editing process that comes later, then you can start to think about things in a different way. But when you're writing it, write everything just as it is on your heart. You got to trust that the Holy Spirit is leading you in the right direction, in the right way to accomplish what he wants you to accomplish. And you can't be overthinking it and self-editing it as you're writing. So write it all out exactly the way you think it's supposed to be, so you have all the bits and pieces, like get it all out of your system. And then when you're done getting everything out of your system, then you can do the puzzle pieces. Then where do we need to move this? Does this fit better here? Oh, I probably need this chapter to go here. Like I'm working on a memoir right now too, and I was sharing some of it in my solo class for doing a one-woman show. And they got confused because in my mind, I knew the periods of time that was happening. But in the book, it was like, wait a minute, you're married now, but I thought you just moved to Hollywood, and I was moving different things. So we have to, like, when it comes time to other people seeing it and editing it, we have to do it in a way that makes sense to others because they're not living in our head. They don't know how it actually happened. So it's good to have people in your life that can read it and answer and ask questions to you, like, what is this? I don't get this. And to be able to explain it in a way, but put everything in there. All right. Next question. So somebody said to me, you average tens of thousands of views on TikTok. Okay, great. All right, Catherine. Donald says, I found a vegan shampoo several months ago that I truly like. Why don't you share in the comments what it is? Other people might like it too. Do you see Mikey and Jaden anymore? Sometimes. Oh, thank you, the railway and deviation. Thank you for the Henry. Okay, Henry's your name. Huge fan. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. See, I can see all the comments on here a lot better because there's less people. Yes. Have you ever been to Germany? Mr. Logic, I have not been to Germany. My dad has. My dad has been to Germany. Okay, let's see. Yes, ask the question once because I can actually get to, unlike, on TikTok, you do probably have to say it several times because it's going by so fast I don't see it. But here on YouTube, I'm actually looking at all the questions. I can see them because it's not going by a million miles an hour. Lucas, oh wait. My Little World says, what age did you start acting in Darman? Oh, years ago. Lucas asks, how are you on your book? Can you read one section of what it's going to be about? Lucas, yes, I can. I haven't read this out loud before. I have not edited it yet. It has not seen the light of day, but Lucas is referring to the new book that I am working on about my days in Hollywood and how it's been for me. So I'm so shocked you want me to read that to you. So yes, I do have a little opening section that can let you know what it's about. So I had changed the title from Smoking Hopium, which is what we do as actors, where hope we make it. I hope I get this role. I hope I get this audition. I hope I get this big thing, right? And I changed it to Ramen Noodle Days, Red Carpet Nights, because sometimes we're out on red carpets, we're wearing fancy dresses. Other times, like, there is no acting gigs coming in. There is no money. We're just eating ramen noodles. So here's my author's note. Here's my author's note I put at the beginning, since you wanted to know a little section of what the book is like. Here's what I wrote for my new book, Ramen Noodles Days, Red Carpet Nights. Hopefully will be coming out in October. We'll see. Hollywood isn't just red carpets and premieres. It isn't only the lightning strike stories or the faces on billboards. It's the 98%, the working class of dreamers who study lines between shifts, who drive themselves to auditions, who celebrate the smallest wins quietly and swallow the rejections. It's the actors, the writers, the filmmakers, and the artists who haven't arrived by the world's standards but keep showing up anyway. This book lives there. Over the past 25 years, I've walked or rode the spinning teacups and the 26-story drops of this industry. I've met the power players and the hopefuls, the brilliant, the naive, the jaded, and the resilient. Some who've made it, some who haven't. Most are somewhere in between. And what you'll find in these pages are glimpses of that in between. Love lost and found, dreams deferred and reborn, talent unrealized, and hope rekindled. These poems are drawn from lived experiences, observed experience, whispered stories, and industry archetypes. Some are personal, some are composite, some are fictionalized, but all are emotionally true. This is not a tell all, it's a reflection on the pursuit, the beauty, and the absurdity, the heartbreak, the stubborn hope that keeps artists creating long after logic tells them to stop. While the setting may be Hollywood, the themes are universal: ambition, identity, jealousy, faith, reinvention, and the tension between the calling and the outcome. The question of what success really means, whether you've chased the spotlight or something quieter, whether you've tasted recognition or not. You may recognize yourself here. If you've ever chased something that didn't chase you back, if you've ever given your all and felt unseen or gone unnoticed, if you've ever wondered whether the dream was worth the cost, you're already in the right place. Let the poems begin. So that is the author's note starting my new book. Yeah, you give a little taste of it. Does that explain it enough, Lucas? Those of you who read that, would that let you know what the book is about, or do you think I need to flesh it out more? I would love your comments on that. All right. Okay. Someone said, hey, if I want to become a Dharman actor, how do they? So if you're an actor, then you already know the casting websites that to go on. So Actors Access is one of them, or Breakdown Services, and LA Casting. Those are the two places that I know Dharman posts their ads looking for actors. So if you're on those sites, then you'll know. To be on those sites, you want to have like a headshot and a resume. Okay. Let's see. All right. Yes. Okay. Next question. Okay. My little world. Let's see. I live in Virginia, but how do I become an actor with little money, but it's a passion of mine? Well, it depends on where you want to be an actor, right? East Coast, there's a lot of plays and theaters, and there's still some films in New York, right? Chicago, Midwest area, there's more commercials, there's more improv, comedy improv. A lot of times in Florida, there's commercials and live shows you can be in, but the heart of film and TV is still going to be in LA and a lot of times in Canada. Okay, let's see. Sienna says, do you ever have to do any sort of speech training or speech therapy? I have taken courses and live classes on how to do speeches, how to deliver speeches, what to put in speeches. But if you mean speech therapy, like I've never had like a stutter or problems with my speaking. However, I did take voice classes for a while to have a stronger voice because I used to talk like in a high-pitched voice and people would think I sounded really young, and sometimes like the bank or places would call me and ask for my mom, and I'm like, I am the mom. So I had to train my voice to sit lower, like lower in my chest instead of being up in my throat. And I noticed a lot of this had to do with like self-esteem, low self-esteem. I would sometimes when I got nervous or felt unworthy, I would talk in a higher pitch because I was like scared and my voice would hide in my throat. But when I became more confident and took more voice lessons, I was able to make my voice go down lower and have more resonance and sound deeper and more sure of myself. Oh, the railway. So is this Henry? He said, "Your story is helping me. I'm 11 years old with autism." My older son has autism, and I'm so happy that this is helping you. I have a lot of videos here on my YouTube channel that I think might be might be helpful to you to find out, to gain more confidence in yourself. Okay, next question. Um, let's see. If you had a pile of dough and use the word pile to describe it, and Raina argues it's the wrong usage of the word pile, what would you do? Well, I certainly wouldn't argue with someone that wants to use pile versus mound or stack or whatever. Um, you know, I'm not into semantics. Like, people tell me all the time I use words incorrectly. Use what sounds good to you. Like, if would it be a pile of dough or would it be a mound of dough? I don't know. See? Someone's saying stack, someone's saying pile, I'm saying mound. I mean, there's a lot of words that can describe things. Sienna says, was it expensive to publish your book? So it depends on what route you go through. So there's many different ways you can publish a book, right? You can publish it yourself on Amazon for free using Kindle Direct Publishing. You can go through parties that are like in between publishers. They're not like the publishers that take all the expense, but they're ones you pay and they can help you format it and get your ISBN number and put it out there. I did that for one of my books. I did that for my first book, going with one of these in between publishers. For me personally, I wouldn't recommend it. It was expensive. For me at the time, it was like $4,000 to do all the things. But I might already spend that much on editors myself. But I like having control. What I didn't like about going through one of those type of publishers is they charged you for every tiny little thing. So whenever I would notice, oh, I made a mistake on this page, every time I would need them to go in and fix it, it was a charge, charge, all these charges after you've already paid like a big amount of money. And then you don't have access to it anymore. You are not in control of your book. Right now, all the other books that I publish on Amazon, if I decide to change something in it or put a website in there or change a sentence or take something out, I can just delete that file and put up a new file, and the book is brand new online. When you go through one of these in between publishers, I forget what the name, hybrid publishers, calling it in between, hybrid publishers, they charge an arm and a leg. They don't want to keep making changes for you. And I don't know. I don't recommend it. But you got to still have to get a good editor. You got to pay a good editor. I've like my last book, the You Are Worthy book, I paid 3 different editors to help me on it. So there's going to be some expense no matter what. I don't recommend just, oh, my friend's going to look at it and they're an English teacher. I don't recommend that. I think your book, you owe yourself and your readers to go through a real editor. And not all of them are expensive. And there's different types of editing. You can go through a line editor. There's all different types of editing. I could probably do a class or a live stream on it or a video on it at some point. There's like 3 or 4 different types of editing you need. For some reason, I'm only thinking of line editing right now. But there's many different ways you can go about doing it. And then there's like Ingram Sparks. Some people like that. I think that's like a couple $100 fee. Some people like that because then if you go through Ingram Sparks, you can get your book in bookstores as well. Well, bookstores probably aren't going to carry your book, though, unless you have a big following or can prove you sell a lot of copies, or maybe you're a local author, you can get them to carry it. Some people say they don't like going to Amazon because then they can't get their book in other bookstores, but that's not true. You only can't get your book in other bookstores if you use the Amazon ISBN number. But if you purchase your own ISBN number, I've purchased mine through like Bowker, then you can get your book in any store. So don't believe that. Okay. So next question. How did you meet Darman? Well, I met him when we were shooting in his we used to shoot in his apartment. So his apartment, he has that makeup company too, Live Glam. So his workers for the makeup company would work like 9 to 5 each day, and then to shoot his videos for the YouTube channel, we would come in at 5. So the workers for the makeup company would clear out, and then we would shoot from 5 p.m. till way sometimes early in the next morning, we would be shooting it. So I met him there. Okay. Donald says the vegan shampoo he likes is called Love and Planet. Cool. Okay. Dan says it's so peaceful on YouTube. Yeah, like you see, there's a lot less people here. I can get to your questions. All right. Mr. Logic says, imagine you fail some exams, but you're doing everything right, no shortcuts in order to achieve your goal. You would still continue and not give up, right? Many people take shortcuts to reach success. If it's something you care about, you don't give up on it. Sometimes you have to do stuff over and over, like people who are lawyers. They have to take the bar exam so many times before they finish. And sometimes you have to wait a certain period to be able to retake it again. Okay. So, yes, to become an actor on Darman, I believe they put their casting notices up on Actors Access and LA Casting. So, if you know what those things are, if you don't, you can research them. Okay. How do we become an actor? Oh, I just read that one. Okay. Some people are putting the same question more than once. John's saying, "Are you going to watch the Academy Awards?" Oh, I'm so bummed. There's usually an awards party I like to go to, but I didn't realize when I made my appointment 3 or 4 months ago to get my taxes done that it was Oscars night. So I can't go to the red carpet awards party that I was invited to because I'm going to be with my tax guy doing my taxes while that's happening. Next year I'm going to rethink this. But today, like Sunday, is when business taxes are due, and I've got three businesses, and I have business taxes to turn in. So what am I going to do? I have to get my business taxes turned in. Okay. Lucas says, do you live in LA or Minnesota? I grew up in Minnesota. I currently live in LA, but I've been going back and forth to Minnesota to help my mom since my father passed away. Okay. Lila, you might want to check local acting venues in Denver. You might be able to do some community theater there to get started. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Donald says that author's note sounds like a statement of life also. Is that a good thing? Does that tell you what the book is about? I do have like a preface that comes after it too. Or like an introduction. Maybe that would be describing the book a little more. The author's note, just kind of like where I'm coming from mentally and why I put this book together. Okay. Nancy says, do you ever travel across the country to promote your books? I have never done that. I've only had one. I normally just publish my books online and don't travel for them. But not the last book I put out, but the one before that, I actually did a in-person live book launch where I shared from the book for like an hour and did a Q&A in person, and people lined up and bought the books and I autographed them for them. I will probably do that again for this Hollywood book I have coming out. Let's see. Marla says, how do I deal with a toxic friend when I am good friends with her daughter? Oof. Yeah, that's something to navigate, isn't it? Well, without knowing all the details, I would say it's hard to answer without knowing all the details. But if you know someone is a toxic friend, it's almost like you treat them like an acquaintance. You're kind and you're respectful and like, hey, how you doing? Only saying good things, but you try to keep their like spending time with you at a minimum, because that can be very taxing on you. It can be very draining to be around people that are constantly negative and toxic. And being good friends with her daughter, I would say, even though you're feeling she's toxic, never never say anything negative about the toxic friend to her daughter, because the daughter will eventually tell the mother. So just when even if the daughter is complaining about her own mother, saying, "Oh, my mom is this, my mom is that," don't agree with her. Don't just say, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry you're going through that. That must be tough," or like say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we should let's pray for your mom. Maybe she's going through something." So never speak about the toxic stuff with her daughter, because it will get back to her. And also, like, it just perpetuates that kind of thing. Hey, you guys, I'm live right now. Can you tone it down a little?
Are you on Q&A?
Yeah, I'm doing Q&A on YouTube right now. So just be mindful of that. And maybe, and the more you guys, maybe the daughter, the more you guys pray for her, the better it will be. Why? Oh, geez. You're about to be in for a surprise. Hi, Pluto.
Wait, I can't see Timothy. Timothy, come over social. Wait, which I can't. Hold on.
It's backwards.
Why is it backwards?
I don't know. So those of you who are asking about Jay and Mikey, these are my actual real boys. So I have Timothy, who's the big one, and Eli, who's the little one.
Unfortunately, I got sick and tired of valuable mods, so I tried to uninstall my favorite game. Mom, are you hearing what I'm just saying?
Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm doing Q&A here, guys.
Yeah, but mom,
yeah.
Quick update about my next video. I had to cancel it because valuable mods are crashing too much, and that makes me.
Makes you angry, huh?
Makes me angry because I have to turn off the Wi-Fi. I had to uninstall Valuable and go back to Fallout. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. All right. So.
Also, yes, I'm gonna do live stream on Twitch.
Okay.
It's only for mature audiences though, so
Okay.
YouTube is for kids, Twitch is for mature audiences. Okay. Hope you get the pixel. Love you, Mom.
Okay, love you too.
Is anyone saying hi to me?
Yeah, there's some people saying hi to you.
Hold on, let me turn the printer. Eli, why did you turn the printer, Eli? Who's gonna say hi to Pluto though?
Okay. All right. So Courtney is asking, how do I start my acting career? Sorry, I just got here. I have a video here on YouTube called How to Start an Acting Career. So just search my name and the words how to start an acting career. And that, I think that will give you a good explanation of how to start if you're brand new. Someone asks, has Mikey or Jaden ever gone to your house in real life? No, but Aiden has. One time I didn't have my car with me and Aiden had to give me a ride home from work. So he's been to my house and said hi to the kids. Okay. Via says, what are your thoughts on hustle culture? I feel like I taught about that the last 2 weeks on this live stream. I taught about that. So I am not a fan. I am not a fan. There are certain times and seasons where we need to huddle. Oh, my love. Where we need to hustle a little bit.
Oh, come on. I'm just joking.
But it should not be a mode that we're always in, because
fine content may for mature. Joking.
My sweetness. Because it's going to upset our nervous system. It's going to cause burnout. So we should not always be in that hustle. There he is.
Yeah.
He's
also,
too short.
And I want to give you guys a life update. This dog has now what? A girlfriend.
Oh, Pluto has a girlfriend now.
And okay. They're twins, but I don't want to get.
So Lucas says, will you be around in LA in July? Probably not. I'm supposed to go back to Minnesota and help my mom with her leg surgery. She won't be able to walk or drive, so I'm going to need to take care of her.
Yikes. I was about to say, so Pluto's got a girlfriend named Goldie. Okay. Because I don't want my fans to get.
Oh yeah, Pluto's got a new girlfriend called Goldie. Okay.
I don't want my fans to get confused. Is that Pluto or is the old one Pluto? Because I don't want my fans to get confused.
So Lila says, does it make it a good book if someone makes a book and tells their story? Everyone's got a story. Whether it turns out to be a good book or not is going to depend on, number one, the execution and what other people get out of it.
Okay.
So
Pluto,
is it fiction? Are you telling it through memoir? It really depends. Not every movie we're in turns out good. Not every book that's written turns out good. So it really just depends. Lila says, can you pray for me and my family? We have tough stuff going on, but we still help a lot of people, even though a lot goes on. The situation be bad. Yeah, we'll say a prayer for your family, Lila. May God bless you and give you the answers that you're needing.
Oh, snap.
Okay, you guys are being really disruptive right now.
No,
so why don't you say one last thing and then
I will say one last thing.
Say one last thing and then let me answer the questions.
Today's healthy sponsor goes to banana.
Today's healthy sponsor is bananas. Have you had your banana today? Okay.
See you later, guys. We'll check out my Twitch page. I changed my Twitch name. I need to go and turn it back to Timothy Nolan because I don't know what.
Okay. Anandit is saying, Timmy, do you like Cheetos?
No, but I'll link my Twitch page on my YouTube channel if you want to find it.
Yes, and Timmy got a haircut. Dad cut his hair.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Nancy says, Eli has the bluest eyes.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does. Via says, have you ever read a book titled Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents? It's a very relatable book that will help many people out there. I have not read that book. Nicola, yes, both boys have grown. Okay. Yes, too much hustle culture can create burnout, Marla says. Lucas says, is there any other Darman actors that are going to be in LA? I suppose most of them. Most, I would say 99% of the Darman actors live in LA. There's just a couple I know. There's a couple I know that live in Orange County, a couple hours away from LA. And there's a couple I know that fly in to do the episodes because they don't actually live here. So they fly in each time. Let me see. And lemon water as well. Okay. Look, you guys, I actually caught up on all the questions. Do you have more? I actually went through every single question on here, unlike when TikTok is putting 1,000 questions out at a time.
Where's Dad?
Dad, I think he went skateboarding with James.
No, I thought they went somewhere else than skateboarding.
Oh, I don't know. They went somewhere. Okay, let's see. Marcel says, what is if you cheat, you never get ahead in Darman videos about? Like cheating on tests, like taking the shortcut, like instead of studying, you're cheating. You're looking at somebody's answers or you have the answers written down. It's funny because that's true in school, but it's not always true in the real world. Well, you don't want to cheat on your spouse in the real world. But like sometimes like when you're starting a business and you collaborate with someone and get help with what you're working on, that's called collaboration and that gets you ahead in life. But if you're collaborating at school taking a test, that's called cheating. So
oh my God. What are you doing, man?
Okay, you guys go. Go. I need close the curtains. Close the curtains.
I need to talk to Mom with them.
Talk to me when I get off the live stream, honey.
Talk to me about my fans. What are you doing, guys?
Thank you, Eli. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, so have you guys seen Timothy's YouTube channel? It's called Timothy Norland.
Go.
And now they're fighting. Okay,
you
guys. Hey guys, please be calm. Eli, don't hit your brother. Look at this domestic violence happening behind me. Eli's hitting his big brother.
Sorry guys, you're not getting
Eli's hitting his big brother.
So I get a lot of questions saying which one is the second part.
Just let him answer the Plushie Bible Theater question.
So we're probably wondering, when's episode 2 of part 2 coming out?
Yeah, so hopefully we can shoot that next Sunday. And then maybe it'll come out the 11th of the next month.
Yay!
Okay, so if you guys haven't followed Timothy,
if we get the deadline done, that is.
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel. He does post gaming stuff, but he started a new series called Plushie Bible Theater, where he uses his plushies to tell like Bible stories. So we've got episode 1 out called The Call, and episode 2 out.
Actually, it's half of episode 2.
It's half of it. It's part 1 of episode 2, but it is episode 2 that's out. So yeah, Nicholas says Timothy looks like me.
I'm just joking. And what
he actually looks a lot like my mom.
And you probably wondering what's gonna be next episode Plushie Bible Field.
Okay. You guys can go now.
Wait, one more question.
This is not your Q&A, Timothy. This is
I know,
my
but I'm
Q&A.
just trying to
You
say-
go do a Q&A on your own channel.
Stop! I do Q&A on Sunday.
Okay.
Anyway, so what's gonna happen then? What's gonna happen after Pleasure Field? Will I do more my first person movie series, or will I start something new?
Yeah.
Start something new, and
Okay.
that is
Go.
wait. That's
Go.
Arrow. That's
Go.
Arrow Space Adventure
Go.
coming
Okay.
2027.
All right,
Goodbye.
bye. Oh, sorry for that interruption. That's life around here. It's honestly amazing that I have time to even write a book, because like when they're around, it's like it's really hard to concentrate because they're always making noise. Donald says the town he lives in, they have an organization called the Foundation of the Arts. They teach how to do plays, write, and draw. Oh, that's cool. So whatever area you're in, you can just go like to Google and type in community theater near me, you know, or community theater near, and then type in what town you live in. And there's so much, like when it comes to like learning how to be a writer or a filmmaker, there's a lot you can learn online courses and things like that. I said, Layla says, I'm nervous to do this, but do you think I should make a TikTok to help my family with their GoFundMe? I mean, if you already have a GoFundMe page up, of course you want to share it on TikTok. I mean, if it's a real legitimate need, you shouldn't feel bad about sharing that. There's people that will rally around you and want to help. Just be honest where you're at. You could even say, hey, I'm really nervous to share about this, but this is important. And my family made a TikTok and my family made a GoFundMe page. And this is what's happening right now with our family. And if you could please donate, this is what we're going to spend it on. It's going to go to good use. We're going to, be able to pay our mortgage or our light bill or whatever it is. Don't be afraid to make a video. Don't, if you're in need, you're in need. Lucas says, what are some healing scriptures? There are so many. Whenever I'm not feeling good, Lucas, if I'm down mentally or emotionally or spiritually, a lot of times I go to YouTube and I just type in healing scriptures, and there's dozens and dozens of videos that come up where somebody's like reading the different healing scriptures, and a lot of times there's soothing music in the background. So you should check that out. You can always Google that as well. All right. Economic Books says, Catherine, just a question. What happened to actors like Elizabeth Grace, Medulica, Rita, Sophia? I don't see them on Darman anymore. What happened to Colin? I miss them. I don't know Elizabeth or Grace, so I can't answer for them. I don't know why Medulica left. I didn't know her. I have a video with her here on my YouTube channel. If you guys go to 3 Questions with Kat, you'll see my interview with Medulica. Rita, she's still at the studio. I see her all the time. Sophia's still there. I just acted in a couple episodes with her last month and the month before. Colin, he left. He was part of the... Do you remember 3 years ago that like some of the actors like did a strike, or they were like speaking out against Darman? So I think he was part of that group that was speaking out and not in favor, not liking working there. So that was what happened to him. Nancy says, what technique do you use to memorize your lines? Sometimes saying them out loud really helps. Reading them to yourself doesn't really help you memorize. Saying them out loud a lot really helps. And also look for phrases that are similar, and look for words that have similar starts, or like
It's not
like Henry is heavy. So you're like, oh, this line has the HH section. So try to find similar things in there. Another thing one of my acting coaches taught me was to like draw pictures. So beside each line, draw a picture of what that sentence means. That helps a lot too. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? Lucas says, I need a lot of healing. Yeah. Soak yourself in the word. Soak yourself in the healing scriptures. Okay. Jay says, how's 2026 treating you so far? What's your next Darman role? Karen or mother? Just this week I played a Karen. I don't know what my next role is because I turned 3 projects down because I was working on my taxes this week, and I'm going out of state next week. So let's see. Oh, I'm sorry people are making fun of you, Lucas. I pray that they stop. Yes, I'll pray for you. Okay, let's see. All right. So guys, that is a whole hour of answering questions. I hope I got your question answered. I think I got to all the questions. So we'll see you next week. I'll be back here at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time again with a wonderful lesson that will help you with your life, that you can apply to your life to make you a better person and help you reach your goals quicker. And thank you, Nicola. Yeah, that was brave of me. All right, we'll see you next time. Take care.